Okay, today I'm going to review BH2K. This is probably one of my favorite pre's of all time, if not my favorite, in the high stim category, that is. This is actually a surprisingly high stim pre. We'll get into that in just a moment. I'm going to call this one of the best pre's of 2024. Unmatched actually launched in 2024. Now, this is a brand that CreGAAtine is behind in conjunction with Doug Miller from Core Nutritionals and Miracle Labs, and also Myoblox now as well. Now, Chris has always been known as someone who is a health and fitness advisor, a great coach. He has some of the best online plans that everyone used to be doing, routines in the gym that we were all downloading off bodybuilding.com. He used to write for bodybuilding.com. Biohacker and longevity specialist would be what I'd consider him to be, more so than just an out-and-out bodybuilder. Now, he used to be the brains behind Caged Muscle, but he hasn't been affiliated with that brand for some time now. And Unmatched is really his return to the supplement industry with formulas that he's directed and then put together with Doug, who has great access to excellent manufacturing and ingredient sourcing. And so what we've got here are really unique, well thought out formulas that are very scientific and very cutting edge, but also naturally sweetened, no artificial colors, dyes, flavors, etc. And as such, they're extremely good for you. I mean, there's nothing about the ergogenic aids in here and nootropics and so on that really could be considered bad for you at all. And I know pre-workouts sometimes get a bad rap. People think too much caffeine might burn out your adrenals and so on. And I do think there's a case for overstimulating your neurology over time. But these products are designed to be healthy for you to use on a daily basis, as well as having a significant effect on your performance. And BH2K really fits into that category. Now, when it comes to the natural flavors and sweeteners, you can't expect this to taste as good as some of the things on the market that are using everything under the sun to get them to taste like your favorite childhood candy. That said, they are enjoyable flavors and they go down quite easy. And for someone that's really looking for those extra health aspects to their supplements, it's almost welcome when you don't taste those overbearing artificial sweeteners and flavorings in there. Now let's get into the formula and talk a bit about how this pre feels to use at the end, because I've actually used it many times and I can definitely talk to the user experience. Alrighty, first up, we got some B vitamins in there. We got B6, folate, and it looks like some B12 as well. Great for energy production. Great to see in there. And then straight after that, we've got one of my favorite pump ingredients of all time, and that is actually a composite product called 3D Pump Breakthrough. This is a really good blend of 3 different ingredients. You've got some glycerol in there. You've got 3 grams of L-Citrulline, pure L-Citrulline, which I actually think is the magic dose for citrulline. We'll get into that another day, maybe 4 grams max. And on top of that, you've got something called Amla, which is a botanical extract that provides proanthocyanidins, which promote endothelial relaxation and nitric oxide release from the endothelium, the walls of the veins and the arteries. So it's a really good 3-way combination of a wet pump, a typical arginine nitric oxide boosting style pump. Citrulline converts to arginine at a steady pace. And then, of course, that endothelial pump as well to really get those skin-splitting pumps. And skin-splitting pumps this does provide. So don't think that this lets you down in the pump area. It really doesn't. And then next up, of course, the 3.2 grams of beta-alanine, your standard dose. So it's tingly, it's performance enhancing, more endurance. You get a few more reps out. Always good to see in there as an ergogenic aid. And then tyrosine, 2 full grams. So this is a really healthy dose of tyrosine. You're going to get that extra dopamine sort of push going. And it's really good for a bit more euphoria that comes in on this pre. And this pre has a lot of euphoria. We'll get into that in a moment as well. Next up, we've got CreGAAtine. So that's 2 full grams. That's the full dose. They also do a CreGAAtine product separately, and that's the same dose you get per serving in that product. And this is a new form of creatine. Basically, it's creatine monohydrate blended in with GAA, also known as guanidinoacetic acid, which improves the uptake of creatine into the muscles and the brain tissue by a significant percentage over what just straight up creatine monohydrate supplementation would give you alone. And so seeing that in there is really cool, and it might actually provide a bit more of a performance enhancing effect at the time of taking it and then affect your workout in a positive way over and above just taking creatine mono on its own. I'd still stack some more in. Get it up to 10 grams a day. Then Acetyl-L Carnitine, a full gram. So I'd say that's in there for more of the performance boosting benefits than any actual fat loss per se. It's going to help your mitochondria function better. It contains an acetyl group, so it's got this nice brain boost to it as well. And of course, you will sweat a little bit more and maybe mobilize a few more lipids in the workout as well. So sure, might be a little bit of fat loss involved, but I'd say it's more for the performance enhancing benefits of Acetyl-L Carnitine and the brain boosting benefits. And then we've got enfinity. Enfinity is a new form of stimulant, essentially. It's a caffeine metabolite. So when caffeine enters your system, it breaks into three main metabolites, one being theophylline, the other being paraxanthine, and the third being theobromine. Now, theophylline is the jittery aspect of caffeine. It's kind of what we don't really like about caffeine generally when people complain about the jitters. And paraxanthine is doing all the heavy lifting, the mood lifting, and the focus. And theobromine is pretty cool, but it doesn't do a whole lot. Some pre's have that in there as a separate ingredient for a bit more of a brightening effect. But paraxanthine, this is the first time it's actually been done, and it's been done in a trademark form called enfinity. So enfinity is developed by Sean Wells and the guys over at NMB, and it's a really breakthrough ingredient in the supplement industry. What I love about it is it's very euphoric as well, and it is still a high stim pre. So there's actually no traditional caffeine in this pre, but it slaps. Now, whether that's the synergy of these ingredients and then the Astragin, which I'll talk about in a second, that's also in here, which enhances the absorption of certain ingredients, thought to mostly enhance the absorption of amino acids, but I have a feeling it might do something with paraxanthine, because when I take this pre, it hits so much harder than other products have had paraxanthine in before. The first product I had paraxanthine in was actually Euphoric by MuscleTech. They were the first to use it. They're also the first to use NMB's DL185, the dileucine peptide. More on that muscle building ingredient another time. And essentially what I find is a lot of euphoria from that ingredient. I found that in the pre called Euphoric by MuscleTech, and they called it that for a reason. But in this one, it's on another level. Maybe it's the combination of that 2 full grams of tyrosine mixing in with the paraxanthine. I don't know. And there's a few other ingredients to go through in a second, but you are insanely upbeat on this. You feel great. It has such a dopaminergic feel. It's really hard to describe until you try it, but it exceeds all label expectation. So just bear that in mind. When I rave about this pre, I'm really talking about something I think you should try at least once, because it's very unique, it hits very distinctly, and it provides an experience that's pretty unmatched, to quote the brand name, in any other product that I've had. And I like a lot of other products, don't get me wrong. This is just different and it's very cool. Next ingredient is my favorite nootropic ingredient. That's Cognizin. We've got the full 250 milligram dose of Cognizin in here. This is a brain boosting ingredient. It's a nootropic. It's one of the most studied and well-known nootropics, probably next to alpha GPC. And it really provides a bit of a different feel to alpha GPC, a bit more of a dopamine effect there too. So that's going to synergize with the paraxanthine and the tyrosine in here. And it gives a bit more tunnel vision and focus, as well as that kind of traditional brain boost and helping clear brain fog. So love to see it in there, and most people that know me know that's my favorite single nootropic ingredient, period. Next up, we've got CognatiQ. So this is a BDNF boosting ingredient similar to lion's mane. So it's been shown in studies to increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and that will help with building new synapses, help a little bit with inflammation in the brain, and help with memory and recall and forming new synapses, learning new things. So great for mind-muscle connection, synergizing nicely with that Cognizin in there as well. It's a coffee fruit extract, so it's actually not caffeine, it's not stimulating, but it does provide some of those benefits I just described, but it is derived from coffee bean. And then last but not least, the Astragin, which I was just referring to, which may be why this slaps a lot harder than I found the MuscleTech Euphoric 2. It also hit hard, don't get me wrong, and it's a great pre. I wish we still could get it, but this hits a lot harder than that did. And I got a feeling that Astragin may have an effect on the paraxanthine, because it really punches in this pre. It puts it in a very high stim category for me. I actually compare this to our high stim pre's at the store. So at the NTS, Newtown Supplement Store, the store that me and my wife run, you can catch me there on Sundays if you want to talk to me. Otherwise, she's there through the week. But this is in the top tier. So when people are asking me for a high stim pre, this is usually one of the offerings that I suggest to them. Something like Castle Bravo, maybe Disorder 2 Scoop, or BBD out here. You know, these are some of the typical high stim pre's. But BH2K is for the stim junkies. So often they look at the label and aren't really sure. You know, it's like, dude, there's no caffeine. It's only 300 milligrams of this paraxanthine. Are you serious? If I get them to buy a single serve off our single serve menu and try it, they always come back and buy it. The experience exceeds the label expectations, and the label is very good. So Anyway, that's a quick wrap on all the ingredients. My personal experience on this now, look, I've alluded to this a lot in this chat. Normally I save this for the end a bit more, but when I took it, and there is a little blow by blow, I put in the highlights on our Instagram for the store, so you can see me kind of in real time trying it out way back when in 2024. But it blew my head off. It's potent. It's long lasting. It's probably about 3 hours that I was on that high for. The workout was nothing to me. It was just so easy to do. It's perfect for hypertrophy. The pumps were insane. And I really was shocked at how much it delivered. So this isn't for the faint of heart. This is actually for someone that can handle some high stim. Of course, you could half scoop it and have a great time and get more servings out of it. It is a 20 serving tub, so they're very expensive ingredients in here. And it's got a pretty high price tag. This is a unique import. You can get it in Australia from the Newtown supplement store, but it does retail for $89.95. 20 serves. Still works out to be about, under $5 a serving though. And it is worth it in my opinion. It is well worth it. Obviously I'm a little biased here, but if you try it, you'll see what I mean. And at half scoop, it would be a great daily driver too, a very delicate, dialed in daily driver. But at full scoop, it really hits this other level of experience that you just probably haven't had before in any of the other pre's on the market at the moment. There's some other great pre's and I review them on here. I love them. But this one just sort of hits a bit different, and it is up there for people that want something that really makes itself known to them when they take it. So if you're in the market for that type of pre, I highly recommend it. It's possibly my favorite pre of 2024. It's in the top 3 at least. Probably takes that first spot, particularly if we're talking about the higher stim varieties. I really liked Miracle Labs Red, White and Boom's re-edition. I liked what Infinus brought out in 24. So it's a tough decision, but I think this probably takes the cake. So if that's not enough for you to get out there and try it at least once, I don't know what is. Check out BH2K. Check out Unmatched, a really cool new brand that CreGAAtine's behind with Doug Miller, 2 of the best in the industry. And comment below, have you tried this pre? Would you try this pre? Got any questions? Reach out, DM me on Instagram. Hopefully I can help you out.